Raindrops beat against the glass of the wooden window. Clouds completely covered the sky, which made the usual dark June evening darker, adding malice to the fire of longing and fear of a small person in the turmoil and horrors of a big city. Terry Goltz is a little man of 30. Sitting at his desk in his room, he drank glasses of cognac one after another. On any other evening, he would have preferred to forget himself with good old vodka, but today he made an exception. He cried, snoring softly, not restraining himself and the grief that he happened to see and feel. Oh, what sorrow overcame him at that moment. Terry shifted his gaze to the dark corner of his office, where the old closet almost touched the wall. He was there, watching the poor man intently, holding back his hoarse breathing, flashing his eyes full of malice and excitement. Terry couldn't stand it. "Go away!" he shouted. There was a note of malice in his voice. Hands clad in white gloves, torn at the ends of the fingers with protruding claws, fell on the table. Without shifting his gaze, Terry threw the glass in the direction of the owner of the terrible limbs. The characteristic ringing of broken glass was not heard. The creature caught it and brought it to its nose. A long sigh was heard. Cognac means. Someone chuckled in the dark. Terry didn't even have time to notice how the shadow had crossed over to his desk and was now standing directly in front of him. He lit the desk lamp. Her light presented the outline of a monster in the smallest detail. A huge body that looks more like an orangutan than a person, covered in a colorful orange outfit, decorated with pompons and ribbons made of colored paper. A terrible, wide face, hidden under a layer of makeup. The narrow eyes of an animal, a cold-blooded killer and sadist, bloodshot mixed with yellowish white, which the monster seemed to be trying to open wider than he could. Clumped eyelashes smeared with mascara, eyelid outline in a dark color, and unnaturally thin eyebrows raised in surprise. The nose seems to be swollen, having neither nostrils nor the bridge of the nose. Just a red ball covered in leather. The mouth, the edges of which go almost behind the ears, only this is no longer makeup, but the true part of the monster's face. Teeth, it would be better if they were sharp, but no. Like ordinary people, only longer and wider. The image was complemented by a curly red wig, behind which the ears were not visible, and together with the ears and the edges of a malicious smile. Yes, Terry was facing a real clown from childhood nightmares. Exactly like this, according to all the canons of childhood fears. "Why are you sad?" the clown asked, putting the glass back on the table. Terry was silent and just looked the monster straight in the eyes. The clown grinned, walked away from the table, and walked heavily to the window. "It was you," Gold said through his teeth. "You killed those children." "I saw." The clown laughed out loud, exposing his disgusting teeth. He rubbed his red nose, turned to the man and said, "Have you forgotten, little Terry? Have you forgotten what?" Gold shouted, unable to restrain himself. The clown instantly appeared in front of the table with a sports bag in his hands. Sticking out his long tongue, he slowly unzipped the zipper, and then turned it over, and all the contents fell out on the table. Among the items was Goltz's work suit, a clown outfit stained with blood. "What is it?" Terry grabbed his head. "It's you, little Terry," the clown sang. "You killed them." "No, no." "How so?" "I saw with my own eyes how you dragged the children into the forest." Poor Terry, he doesn't understand anything. He killed the children, and blames others," the clown sang and laughed. "No. It's not me," Terry shouted, jumping up from the table. He opened a drawer and took out a revolver. The barrel was pointed at the clown. "I'll kill you right here." At that moment, the doorbell rang. A determined voice of a policeman was heard behind her, asking her to open the door. The clown was looking towards the door, muttering something under his red nose. Goltz listened. "They came for Terry, he will live with them, he deserved punishment for his heinous deeds," the clown sang. Terry listened to these lines, simultaneously listening to the bells, the door, the voices of the police, and the pounding of the rain. Then he realized that he was muttering a clown song himself. Tears gushed from his eyes, and Terry shouted, "Shut up!" The finger pulled the trigger, and the first bullet flew into the monster. She landed in the clown's chest, from where black blood flowed, staining the orange outfit. But the monster did not fall and did not squeal in pain, but only continued to hum a song that drove Goltz out of himself. He was humming, "I am Terry, in the eyes of the children, their nightmares are from you, and I am just a shadow." The clown sang it for the last time and rushed into the corridor, where the police began to break down the door from shouting and shooting. "Don't come in, he'll kill you!" Terry shouted and fired again. The bullet hit the lock, the door swung open. The first policeman went inside. The clown lunged at him and bit into his shoulder. Terry shot the clown in the head, but missed and wounded a policeman. The first was followed by the second, and then the third. Terry backed away. He watched as the clown devoured one policeman after another, tearing them apart. The horror of what was happening broke Goltz's nerves. He put the revolver to his temple and pulled the trigger. Terry Goltz is an ordinary little man who moonlights as a clown at children's matinees and other holidays. According to the parents, 3 children were missing, who were later found in the forest without fingers. After the children disappeared, Goltz himself disappeared. He was the first in line of suspects. When the police opened the door of his house, Terry Goltz was already dead. He was found in the hallway with a revolver in which there were 3 bullets left. The first was found in the wall of the cabinet, the second, in the switch, next to the door, or rather the lock, the third, in the head of the Goltz himself. A closed bag was also found in the corridor, with an orange clown outfit smeared with blood, a kitchen knife and a pair of severed children's fingers. There were shards of glass next to the cabinet, possibly from a glass. None of the police officers were injured. Most likely, Goltz was mentally ill, with symptoms of schizophrenia. No wonder he committed suicide. While I was recording what was happening from the eyes of the investigators and the police in the paragraph above, the same clown passed by me. He gave me his funny look, grinned and went on, hiding in the maze of a high-rise building. Yes, I was in the apartment at the time of Goltz's suicide, and when he was killing children, but I didn't do anything. I can't influence the natural course of things. The only thing I can do is observe and record. What a terrible monster fear and human madness can create. Now this clown can come to you, if you are afraid of him, of course. Well, I will continue to collect stories, because this is my hobby.